Hi Arturo, how you doing? I just want to take a look at your work here. Oh, sorry, that was left from my last the last student. So I want to take a look at your work, which is right here, and I want to talk a little bit about the PSD that you had left for me in doc sharing. And here that is. So first of all, I just want to say that the idea here is really, I think it's awesome and super creative, and that's really cool that you had this idea that you were going to put an easel with the scene in front of the scene. I love it. I think it's just really, really a fascinating way to look at the assignment. Okay. The reason we ask students to place their layered Photoshop document in along with their work, their unlayered JPEG in the discussion board is that so that we can take a look at the technical merits of the piece and determine as to whether it's um, set up correctly in terms of being usable and editable. You know, when I say usable, I mean meaning editable, which is the main thing, of course, in Photoshop is editability, and also the work has to be responsive in such a way that you can hand this work off to another designer, and that other designer can take it over with the same spec sheet and continue working right on this. And that's a real world scenario. So the reason I want to point this out to you, okay, here's your layers. Okay, and we have in the assignment, and I just want to pop that open real quick too, so I can refer to that while we're talking. So we have remove the crack in the wall. Okay, so if I look at remove the crack in the wall, well, your crack in the wall is still there. All right. Then we have use the hot spot healer to move the flaws in the foreground. Okay, so let's take a look at yours, and we see that your easel. Well, I'm going to take your easel away for a second, and we have some erasing going on there. That's not good. Let's get the easel away, and we can see that there are some areas that still need to be addressed in terms of fixing some spots and cracks. Okay. The next requirement is use the spot healer to remove. I just said that. Change the color of women's shoes using an adjustment layer or one of the painting techniques described in this week's lecture. You can review the use of adjustment layers in week 3 lectures. Now, the importance of a week adjustment layer from week 3, I think adjustment layers are the most important, probably one of the most important, if not the most important foundation in Photoshop. So we need to maintain editability in that respect. I'm going to give you an example. Suppose you hand your work to your client, okay, and your client says, okay, this is great, but I don't like her shoes. I don't like her shoes. What's going on? I want her shoes to be like blue. All right. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go over and say, okay, how do I change? Now, did you paint on those? Is that what you did? I mean, because I'm not seeing a mask. Because if there was a mask, we would just go in and this is what I'm talking about in terms of production. You come in here, you select those in your mask, you select the mask, you change the color, boom, you're done. In this way, you have to remove that. You have to add another sort of painting layer. Then you have to go in and paint by hand again, and it's just very very cumbersome. Okay, that's why we use adjustment layers and masks, layer masks. 3-week lecture. Add another image of your choice and extract the primary object from the additional image using a layer mask. This is not done either. Okay, there's no masking at all here in this file. So what you need to do is let me show you an example, okay? Let me show you an example. Here it is. This is a student, and don't look at the work, just look at the layer. Here is the background copy, and well, actually, go ahead. Let's go ahead and look at the work, because this is a public forum, so. Where did that just go? I don't know what just happened to my layers. So I'm going to go up top to Windows. I'm going to find my layers again. There they are. So let's bring those over here. And let's take a look at the layers. And we're going to say, okay, here's our background copy, and that is the added layer. Now that's that little bird down there, which is really tough to see, but as you can see, here's the layer mask. So I can just shift click that, turn it off, and whoops, sorry, and that layer mask should add the rest of the background for that bird. Image cleanup, as you noticed, all of the cracks are on one page, on one layer, which is good. All of the repairs and the cracks are on one layer, which is good. Then you have the this right here is a mask to change the color of the shoes. Okay, so if we wanted to change the color of the shoes, we just go in there, select that mask, and change that right there, which is a hue adjustment, a hue saturation, and we're done. So it's that simple. That's what I'd like to see I'd like to see your file go in that direction. So if you care to go ahead and follow those specs and resubmit, we'll go ahead and see about at least getting you the points you deserve, if not full points for the assignment. Okay, awesome. Thanks very much.